There's been a really bad accident, it seems. There's a helicopter that flipped over and went into the Hudson River. And I'm up here on a virtually abandoned High Line today. Just heading over. You can just hear the helicopters as I come around that corner. I saw this being reported on X. A couple of people, somebody actually had a video of the helicopter turning over, flipping over midair, going straight down into the river. I don't think there's any way anybody could have survived that crash. And any kind of recovery is going to be frustrated by the fact that it's pretty cold and rainy today. And I think we only have about 90 minutes or maybe 2 hours more of sunlight. It's funny, I'm not able to get to YouTube here. I hope we're live. Why is this doing that? Yeah, so helicopter crash. I heard it reported that one person was dead, but as I've said, it just doesn't seem possible that anybody could survive it at all. Weird. I'm not able to get onto YouTube on this other phone here. So Pier 40 is kind of, I think it's just north of Diddle Island here. I don't know where we can really see. I don't know if we're going to see much of anything. I just heard about this and it was sort of so close to the regular route, I figured come out and let people see what's going on. We've got cherry blossoms in bloom. Oh, is that smoke? Oh yeah, you can smell burning. Is that from the crash or is that from this building? I can smell smells like burning, car stuff, like plastic and rubber and disgusting toxic stuff. I don't think, yeah, you can smell it. I don't know, what are they going to do? I mean, first of all, a helicopter is made out of fiberglass. They're super dangerous. I don't know if there's a lot of people watching who have ridden in helicopters very much, and I'm certainly not trying to discourage anybody from doing anything they want to do. Go ahead, whatever you want. Damn it, why can't I look at YouTube? Let's see what Odyssey's doing. Crazy thing, Odyssey put up an email. Stripe screwed them. So, everybody just hang tight. We'll know, I guess, in a few days. It looks like we're live here on Odyssey. Welcome everyone who's watching on Odyssey. Yeah, there we go. Good news. Email. Stripes. What the hell's up with YouTube? We're down here by Tesla again. I don't think there's anything going on over there today. It's funny, if you were in the helicopter, this is the most important thing happening anywhere. But basically, nobody around here, you wouldn't know anything's going on. Yeah, I was walking around earlier and the Igloo Cooler team they're back. They're kind of, they seem more vigilant, right? They're looking around and kind of carefully placed. But I don't know. Are they still deporting people? See, now it gets to weird stuff, because when it's like short little fat ladies and their kids selling sandwiches, do you really want like ICE to grab those people and throw them out? I mean, it's a little bit, yes, because we got, jackasses like this riding the bicycle on the sidewalk. Throw everybody out. So, I mean, there's always a lot of helicopters down here because it's the helipad over there. But let's see. I don't know. I mean, I think they would use boats, right? What good is a helicopter right here? They know where the crash is. They're not like searching for it. Perhaps people in the comments know more about the crash. Oops, this is on in my pocket. That's not good. Hudson River Park. Welcome to it. It's quite strange that YouTube's not working. That's a unusual occurrence. Maybe, I don't know, would the high perch at Diddle Island be a place to see what's going on? Is it possible YouTube is experiencing a DDoS attack and not working? You never know. All kinds of crazy things could happen. Now that China is upset about Trump doing his trade war, maybe they'll, who knows what. All right, well, so much for YouTube comments. Whoa. Thanks to everybody who's watching on Odyssey. Yeah, so we'll know, I think, in a few days what the future is of Odyssey. You can currently not pay for anything on Odyssey. So here's Pier 57. Where's Pier 40? It's up here a little ways, I think, right? Or are they going up or down? It's Chelsea Piers. It's up this way. That says Google on it. I don't know. Did I know about that? What's Google doing over there? They're sort of taking over everything, aren't they? Oh yeah, speaking of things that are expected to take over everything, I was doing my taxes all day. So see, that's Pier 59, so I guess Pier 40 is down this way. Let's keep going down this way. I had it wrong. All right, so yeah, we will go up to the high perch on Diddle and look downward and see if we can see anything. I was doing my taxes, and it's only the second time I've ever done them myself. I mean, for years and years, I always had an accountant. You know, when I was running 21st Century 3D, I had payroll and employees, and at one point I had an office in California and an office in New York. So it was, and I was busy and making money. So I just hired accountants, and got to a point where it was like, hey, this accounting business is pretty expensive. So last year, for the first time, I did it with H&R Block, and that was pretty easy. But I paid so much. This year, when I was on there, I was like, what's with deductions? I need to look around at more deductions. And I was trying to figure out, like, well, you know, I spent so much money on software subscriptions and internet service all over the place and buying equipment. Can't I deduct all that? And I started asking artificial intelligence. It was like, yeah, you can, if you have the receipts to back it up. And then I figured out, you know, you can download all this stuff from Amazon. You dig around in there. There's a section where you can ask them to send your whole purchase history, and they will. And I told the AI, look through there and pull out everything, and it made a whole list. And I was like, yeah, that's absolutely it. All that stuff is, you know, this gimbal and everything I'm buying to do the show, legitimate write-offs. So with the AI, it helped me go through there. And while I was doing all this, I was like, well, so wait a minute. What do I even need H&R Block for? Can't I just download whatever from the IRS and send this in myself? And the AI was like, hell yeah, I can help you do it. So everybody's watching now like, uh-oh, now Jason's going to jail. But remember, I didn't I wasn't like I just typed in, hey AI, do my taxes. I went through a whole, I've been working on this for like 2 days. I went through a whole session where I uploaded all my, and there's another thing certain people will cringe at, uploaded my bank statements and my credit card bills and just, all the different financial documents that you'd send to your accountant. And people are like, oh, don't give it to AI. Now it's going to do something. But don't they have it already anyway? This is all coming from the computer and the internet in the first place. Maybe the audio's a little better like that. Yeah, not slamming on the microphone. Anyway, what was great is it was able to go through and just help me calculate deductions very precisely to help, first of all, help me save money from not having to pay H&R Block, but even better, to identify, and then I put together a whole report, so if the IRS ever wants to audit me, it's like, here's all the receipts of the stuff that I'm writing off. Pretty solid, I think. So I'm not quite done with it. I was working on it. Then I heard about this helicopter crash. I guess it's down that way. But also it's interesting because, so I'm using ChatGPT and people are like, I use Grok. It's comments like that, it's like, why? What do you know about that? That telling me to do that is somehow helpful. People, I think, have a need to just shout out crap, right? Remember you go to the movies and people are like, oh, don't go in there. It's like, Dick, it's a movie. You're not going to change. But people screaming at the TV at sports games is another thing, but I don't know, people always want to have something to say. But the point is, and also there's going to be other people who say, oh, don't pay taxes. Jason is a statist. I never give anybody that advice. Don't do anything illegal. Keep it on the up and up. So they can't come after you, or at least if they do, they can't. I mean, they will anyway, right? So you got to be careful about that. But the point is, I think when you deal with H&R Block, they're trying to make a website and a tax service that's easy, because like most people, including me, think doing your taxes is like, holy crap, the ultimate nightmare homework assignment from hell or something. And also just so confusing and convoluted, have no idea what to do. And so just send it off to an accountant. So now there's a fire department boat that's not doing anything. I don't know, maybe this is cleaned up already. It only happened like 2 hours ago. I figured it takes a little while to clear up a helicopter, doesn't it? Could you imagine? It's like, oh yeah, we cleaned that up like half an hour ago. I don't mean to laugh, people died. Oh, that guy's taking the shortcut, pretty smart. Well, I mean, you can see the park is totally empty due to the inclement weather. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Is this cherry blossoms? I think it is, right? White like that? Now, I just don't see really any activity indicating a helicopter crash. Where the hell is Pier 40? It must be the other way. But isn't it weird, though, that the fire department boat is, I guess there wasn't a fire, is just sitting there. We'll go up to the highest level, see what can be seen. So anyway, I just went through there and I was able to ask it all kinds of questions, like, can I write this off? And it's like, well, only if you're doing this or that. And I was like, well, yes, I am. And it was like, oh, do you have the whatever form? And then you download that, you go to the bank, you go to the credit card, whatever it is, you can download all this stuff, put it in there. It was amazing. So,
Everything's coming into fruition as we speak.
all right, so if there's anything going on over here, we're going to see it. We have this little cruise boat. I don't know. Seems like there was a big helicopter crash just a little while ago, and now we see nothing. The helicopter pad is over here, so why were the pier numbers going up? 57 and then 59. It seemed like 60 would be next. Let me check the map here. Live on YouTube too. Okay, good. Thank you, PB girl. I don't know why YouTube's not working on my phone. It's weird. Don't like it when stuff doesn't work. But let's see, how can we get to Pier 40 from here? Which direction is it?
In 150 feet, walk down the stairs.
Wow, that's specific.
350 feet, take a right onto
Yeah,
the
no,
path.
it's to the right. Oh, wait a minute, it's quite a ways from here. That's why we can't see it. West Street. Leroy Street. Oh, I thought it was just right over here. Well, but even so, we should be able to see down to there from here. Oh, wait a minute. I think I might see it. Some sirens. Do we see that? Yeah, that must be it down there. All right, well, I guess we're on a walk down there. That's pretty far. I don't know if that's realistic to do. I should have taken the subway down there. I should have looked at this more closely. I just quickly looked at the map and was like, oh, that's over by Diddle Island. Quite far. Anyway, I was thinking about doing a whole video about how to use AI to do stuff like this. You know, obviously I'm not a tourists descending upon me with weird foreign languages. Obviously I'm not a CPA. Nothing I ever say is financial advice. Nothing I ever say is legal advice. I'm not an attorney. I am a little bit of an expert user with AI, help people understand that. Yeah, this is the other thing that was happening. So the thing is, the person who was like, oh, use Grok. It's like, I don't think you have any idea what I'm doing or what the limitations of Grok are or what the limitations of ChatGPT are. But, hey, look at this. I bet you someone could make beautiful music with that, but that is not within my skill set. Now wait a minute, what was I just saying? See, and without the comments, how am I gonna have my memory refreshed as to what I was saying? I was doing the taxes. AI, right. Expert user with AI, right. So this person who told me use Grok, it's like, why? Why use Grok? Just because you need to bark something out that is meaningless and unhelpful? The reason why ChatGPT is good for this is that ChatGPT has a couple different versions, and I got the one, I guess it's ChatGPT Plus, where I think you pay $20 or $19.99 a month or something like that. And this gives you a certain priority in their inference server process. You know, you ask it questions and it's got to do all this thinking, running electricity through those Jensen Huang NVIDIA chips to think about the answer to your question. I see why I thought that, because I didn't fully come down all the way to the end of the High Line. It ends just past the Whitney here. And the thing we're going to is just a little further down than that. So had I taken it all the way down, we would have been much closer. But we'll go and see what's going on. When you pay that $20, it gives you priority in inference, and also there's a limit to how many questions you can ask it, and moreover, how rapidly you can ask them and how complicated they are. And if you're doing like I was, uploading files, that plays a role. So they don't ever specifically tell you like, okay, you get like an hour or 50 credits or something like that. So that makes it a little weird. But the truth is, I really think it works very well, and it's a good value for $20. So I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying it's a very new and unusual type of thing. There's not really anything you can compare it to, It's not like some better abacus or something like that. It's like Star Trek shit that's never existed before. Look at this, they're making a video. Oh, I guess that's just a short. That's an adult woman. I thought they were like, look at how these little kids are making a video. It's a very short lady. Yeah, so there's the other side of the Whitney that we walk by all the time on the High Line. It's actually quite a nice, I think, architecture, right? I think there's areas up there that are outside. Oh, wait a minute. Well, this will be a good test. This used to be an area of signal loss down over here all the way on the west side. But now we can test the failover system. So anyway, this $20 a month ChatGPT priority on the thing. The other issue is I had to upload, bank statements, credit card statements, not tons and tons of documents, but definitely several dozen. And Grok only lets you feed in, I think, 2 documents at a time. And so just even strictly from a convenience standpoint, ChatGPT was a better choice for me here. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think they're both good options. And I do use Grok. I've used Grok to evaluate legal documents and even write legal documents. And one thing that I like to do is take a draft of a legal document from Grok and have ChatGPT look at it and say, do you think you can improve anything about this? And sometimes, and do it in reverse as well, and they will find things and add to each other. It's interesting. I mean, getting to understand how this AI technology works. I know there's a lot of people who hate it, and they're like, oh, it's, transhuman and gonna take over and whatever. I don't know where this crash is. Here's Pier 51. All right, well, at least we're walking in the right direction now. So we'll just keep going 11 more piers and we'll be there. It appears that we're 11 piers from the pier. Here. How'd you like the assassination? So they're focusing now on Ryan Routh. I'm gonna have a great episode with Ken Silva tomorrow. We'll talk about Ryan Routh.
To me anything like this.
We're gonna have a special guest. I don't wanna reveal too much. We'll talk about other things in addition to Ryan Routh. Now wait, maybe that's a helicopter searching there? It's got a big light on it, and it sounds unusual. Oh, but it's a plane, I think. I don't know, what is it? maybe that's just a regular jet helicopter. Yeah, I mean, you got to be careful. Helicopters. I haven't been in a helicopter in quite a while, but I've done a fair amount of helicopter flight back in my, Hollywood days. And actually, even before I went out to Hollywood, we were doing helicopter stuff. That project we did with, was that the first one? I don't even think that was the first. No, I think the first one was a project we did for Goodyear. That was one of the first ever, that had to be the first one. So when I first developed the 3D camera, there were a lot of people who wanted to do stuff with it because it was so much smaller than any other 3D camera anybody ever had. So somebody wanted to take it on a helicopter here in New York for, that was for Goodyear. Why did we need a helicopter shot? Oh, because we were above a car driving. So where was that? I don't remember exactly where it was, but that was the first contact with, I think his name was Al Cadulo. Was that his name? People who have done film production around in New York will know. That guy, he was like the guy. He had the longest resume. I can't imagine he's still flying. It was 25 years ago. We did that thing I've spoken about a few times. I've shown the building, the double-click building with Lee's brother, Kenny Stranahan. That involved me going in a helicopter, flying around the building. How'd you like the assassination? So that was, anyway, the point is, they're dangerous helicopters. In the video I saw, this one at Pier 40, it just flipped over and went straight down. I don't know, I thought we would see lights and boats, and maybe when we get close. Oh yeah, how's the signal holding up? Right, so this will be a test of the emergency failover system. It'll be good. And this is actually exactly what it's intended to do. Provide me with, so obviously over here, I don't want to go into too many technical details, but the network provider that I was using, poor coverage. But since it's New York City and we have competing network providers, let's see if the bonded link aggregation keeps the broadcast going. And if there's anything with this helicopter. I don't know, maybe people who are not here right now know more about it than I do just from watching the news. I could believe that. I'm getting close to the pier. Still have signal. Let's see, I'm going to try something drastic to get onto YouTube here. Yeah, I thought we would see something. I don't know, is traffic even affected by this? Hard to say. Wow, enough tattoos on that chick? That's wild. I don't know, you think she'll ever regret that? People get upset when I talk about tattoos. That's just so permanent. I mean, even more than marriage. I hope you like it. It's not going anywhere. Let's see if we can get onto YouTube here. Nobody seems at all perturbed about the helicopter crash. I don't know what's wrong with this phone, but there's no YouTube happening. It's very annoying. It says I'm not connected to the internet. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's just crazy. There's a lot of people jogging in the cold. I don't know, we got really nothing at all visible with the helicopter. It's a little weird, isn't it? Acorn. Kind of nice, actually. Three-dimensional art. Too far south? Are you sure? It was Pier 40. Someone's saying I'm too far south. Well, we didn't see it up north. Here, I've got the map. Pier 40. Walk. No, it says I'm still 6 minutes away. At this point, we got to do it. Oh, we've got somebody with their country music here that's going to monetize. A little crab shack or something. Don't monetize me with your bad country music. You're not even open. So I'm going to keep talking. We got the Drift Inn. It's interesting. I haven't been down here exactly in quite a while. Doesn't look open. Well, now wait a minute. That might be it over there. Yeah, that's got to be it. Can people see that? Police boats. There we go. There's a Coast Guard boat. I guess they're looking for people. I mean, yeah, do it, but obviously nobody's gonna live through this, I don't think. Let's see if we can walk down there and get a little closer. And then what do? They're gonna pull the helicopter out? You need some kind of big winch. Where did it hit exactly? I guess where those boats are. Might get windy as hell out here. Let's see if I can adjust. There we go. That might be a little better. Yeah, it's been oddly cool the past few days, and now terrible rain. So yeah, we'll be way out here on the edge. I don't know if the cellular phone providers really plan on giving you signal out here near the water. Maybe they have all the New Jersey boats and everything. Ferries. But I haven't really necessarily tested HD video streaming from over here. I do see we're getting far away from the network. Hopefully failover system don't fail me now. Oh my God, what a cute dog. Let's see. Yeah, we got a strong signal on this one. It seems. I hope. Oh yeah, we already got some people out here. And we got strong signal there too, so should be okay. I hope. It's dipping down. Not that many people here covering this. Maybe they're out there in Jersey. See if I can hold this steady here. It's difficult that zoomed in. But there we go, helicopter crash. Have you heard anything about this crash? You guys know anything about any of the details of the crash?
The helicopter crash.
But I mean, have they said if they pulled it up, any people?
Not yet. That's what we're trying to find out.
So there you go. That's looking like a fast boat. Where's this guy going? Seem to be speeding over here with some purpose, no? You'd think they'd have a pretty good idea of exactly where the thing is. It's got to be over here. Well, there it is. Helicopter crash. I mean, obviously these guys appear to be a news crew or something, so they'll just stay there, I guess, for hours rolling card until something happens, and then they send it to the news. I don't have time for that. We'll see what they get. I just wanted to come down here and see what's going on with the helicopter crash, and we did that. So that's good. Now, what the hell is with YouTube? We've got a good, solid network. I don't understand why it's not cooperating. It's very frustrating. It's all right. We'll chat with our friends on Odyssey. I hope people will join Odyssey. I'm confident that those guys will solve what is happening with the credit card business. But it's free to subscribe, and you still get access to the largest library of crowdsource the truth content anywhere on the internet. So I definitely recommend that people do that. I don't know, there's a lot of stuff under construction, right? What does Odyssey say in the live chat? YouTube is still live. Good. Who does Charles's taxes? I have no idea. I imagine he has a much more complicated tax scenario than I do. I mean, first of all, living in another country, but also Charles has loads of dough, I would think, investments and whatnot. I just had like 2 credit cards, 3, one that I don't even use anymore. Not too much stuff. That's the thing. So for like several years, even while I was doing Crowdsource the Truth, I kept using this accountant and this accounting firm that I had just used for years and years. It was such a mistake. I mean, he was a good guy and everything, but it was just too expensive. And I was being lazy. And last year when I did it, you know, H&R Block, it was still more than I wanted it to be. They charged a couple $100 because I got that service where you pay to have an accountant look it over and tell you if it's good or not. And they said, yeah, this is good. Then New York sent me back like $1,000. And I was like, wait a minute. So obviously that accountant didn't know what he was talking about if he made me overpay. Wow, how does she like the assassination? Can't really ask that while somebody's jogging. You're officially a pain in the ass. Oh, excuse me. Can I interrupt you and say a bunch of dumb shit? I have no idea who does Charles's taxes. Definitely not me. He doesn't ask me about financial advice. Obviously. That would be ridiculous. But yeah, so the problem with H&R Block, I don't know if I ever got this idea out. Their purpose isn't necessarily, I mean, yeah, they want to advertise that they're saving you the most money on paying taxes, but I think they primarily want to make a thing that's easy to use. Go on their website, plug in a couple of deals, you know, documents and records, and just make it accessible so that people feel like, paid my taxes and that was easy. What I did, I don't know if you could say it was easy. I mean, I really been kind of locked in there for almost 2 days. But I'll tell you the truth, I think it's very much worth it because I don't think the federal government is like, hey, wait a minute, look at all this, you know, deductible interest on your car payments. And like, if you really dig into it, that's what was great about the AI, is that I was like, okay, I filled this out, take a look. Did I do it right? Yeah, but line 17, you put this, it should have been this, or it should have gone on line 13. And then you can say things like, hey, is there anything else I could do to, like, more deductions to save money? It's like, well, not unless you, like have, you know, interest on a car loan. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. And so just going through and coming up with all these different things, not inventing things, but just understanding the process. Maybe a lot of people are watching this and thinking I'm an idiot for not doing this for the past 35 years or whatever. I think a lot of people are like this, though, because first of all, a lot of times you're just getting a paycheck from a salary from a job, and that's withholding a lot of taxes anyway, and you just send a very simple thing to, what was the one that was up there with the migrants, Hewitt or whatever, H&R Block, some of these different accounting companies that are trying to do business with the migrants. Jackson Hewitt, that was the one that Savannah Hernandez, right? Is that her name? I think that's her name. Savannah says she caught them. That was great. You know what was weird? Somebody sent me a video from a guy who was, interviewing maniacs at Tesla This guy's got the high-vis sneakers. They really catch your eye. It's pretty smart. Everybody's wearing them. Look at that. I guess that's the new thing. Get the high-vis. And he's got the hat, too. Yeah, makes sense, because the sun is about to go down. And those guys don't want to get smashed into by a taxi with low-vis gear. You don't want that. Just zero train of thought. Can't remember what I'm saying from second to second. Oh yeah, the accounting companies that are trying to do business right. So somebody sent me this video that this guy was interviewing maniacs at Tesla, and I was looking at it and I said, well, I don't recognize that guy, and I don't recognize these maniacs, but to be fair, you know, remember last Saturday I went there was nothing going on, and I didn't see too much video from it. It seemed like everybody from that thing went to Washington, D.C. last Saturday. And then, you know, yesterday, this guy uploaded this video. I forget his name. And I couldn't tell if it was from last Saturday or the previous Saturday or whatever. But it was mostly him sitting at his desk or his podcasting studio or whatever it was, and then just showing clips of him interviewing people. But it wasn't a live stream from Tesla. He recorded it and was now, you know, commenting on the clips as he, maybe he was live streaming from his desk, but he wasn't live streaming from the street out there in front of, he was just recording in front of Tesla. And I don't know, to me, it just seemed this guy talking was a little long-winded and a lot of boring material in between clips of the Tesla maniacs. And I don't know, I watched it for a little while and I was like, okay, he's talking to Tesla maniacs. The thing is at like 490, maybe even more now, it's 500,000 views. Now granted, his YouTube channel had 140,000 subscribers or something like that, but even so, that was really outsized performance for this video. I don't understand why that was happening. I mean, maybe some people will say, oh, he's got keywords or he's got a better thumbnail or who knows what. Now, I missed my on-ramp to the High Line here. I gotta tuck back into the city at some point. But this is a good test on the outer fringes of the network. It's been working well. When the, oh, god damn it, look at that duck standing right there. That thing just scared the shit out of me. Canadian asshole. These ducks are supposedly dangerous. You're not supposed to mess with them. And that's a New York one. He's like right there on the path. The thing almost took my wallet. The duck is just standing there like, hey man, you need a dime bag? Did people see Eric Adams on some, I don't know what he was on, some radio show, some podcast, and he's like, I know what it's like to roll 8 joints out of a dime bag or whatever he was saying and run numbers. It's like, dude, I mean, it's just so obvious that the guy's an arch criminal. He's admitting it, he's telling you. He's like, yeah, this mayor thing is just like a side gig. You know, you get a lot of crime to do. He's just out of control, Eric Adams. Stupid idiot. With a capital I. Weird day today, weird weather. It's cold and chilly and wet and so there you go. They're having that, what a terrible way to die in a helicopter crash like that. It would be a very intense and horrifying last few seconds of life. We did, yeah, I don't know if anybody knows if Al Cadullo is, I could look him up actually, see if he's still flying or still alive. But we did another production with these ESPN X Game winners, and that was, you know, ski jumping and stuff. I forget the name of the mountain. It was in Washington State, maybe Matthews Mountain or something like that. I had never heard of it before. how's this guy in the Cadillac like the Super Cruise? But anyway, that helicopter pilot, he wasn't that experienced. Al Cadulo, he was like he was a Vietnam helicopter pilot. This guy was a dentist who had like gotten some recreational helicopter. Like he told me that after the second altitude alarm. I was like, dude, where are the Vietnam guys? Let's see, Al Cadulo, is that his name? Maybe I'm confusing him with somebody else. Let's look him up here. First person 3D flying experience. Real drone 3D guy. No, yeah, Al Cadulo is a different guy who I know. He's a 3D cinematographer. What was it? Al Cirillo, that was his name. Let's see, Al Cirillo. Now we're talking. No, Al Cadulo's a different guy. Al Cirillo. Not to be... Cirillo. There he is. Al Cirillo. Additional crew. Thing is, how do I know if he's still alive? Well, we'd look him up maybe later, but that was him. Where are we here? I think we can get back to the High Line up here. I haven't been down here. I mean, this is the Munchery. I don't know anything about that. I guess if you want to munch. No, it's not even, it looks like they're doing nails in there. Who's munching what? You gotta check that before you book a table. No, it's this. What is this? Doesn't look like anyone's munching anything. I don't understand. Wix. Now wait a minute, aren't they the website people? I don't think I trust Wix. This is just a very narrow band of security right here. Wix. I don't trust or like Wix. Now, see, that's interesting. Wix Studio. Boy, I didn't know they were down here. See, it's good walking around New York. Wix is right outside the Whitney. But that is where a certain paperclip Nazi had hosted a website that he was using exclusively to antagonize me, defame and slander and harass. He's such an annoying asshole. It's crazy. But I had to speak to those Wix people. Not over here. I guess that was, you know, their headquarters or whatever in San Francisco. But there was some sort of connection to Ukraine and Israel with Wix. Their executives were Ukrainian and Israeli. I was like, what's with that? But eventually got that website taken care of. That was good. It's been quite a relief not being a defendant in lawfare litigation for the past, I don't know, what has it been, a week? It's quite good. I don't know that I've actually come up the High Line this way on the show before. But yeah, not a defendant, still have legal actions pending. I had to take the last 2 days off to work on my taxes, work out this whole thing with the AI. It's just about done. And, oh yeah, so that what the thing that I didn't say was, I was exhausting these credits on ChatGPT. So it's just like, it gets to a point where it ghosts out the little, there's like a paperclip icon that you click on to upload your documents. And when it's getting out of breath, that paperclip goes away. And it only lets you use ChatGPT Mini, I guess the free one. And it's like, hey, come back after 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, what? So that's the thing, and you just run out of Happened last night, actually, about 1 a.m., which was truthfully pretty good, because I was like, yeah, this is a good point to break. What do we think of this? I thought it was Hillary Clinton for a second. Right? What a good-looking object d'art is what I would say that is. So here, this is the Tesla neighborhood right here. I don't think there's anything going on there right now. Yeah, there's not. But they have the police fences there still, I can see. I guess I can't see them now anymore, blocked. There they are. It's weird, right? I mean, I guess it's terrible weather. Bad weather for a protest right now. But you'd think there'd be something going on. It just has a very inorganic feeling to it. Very hard to guard against the wind. Yeah, so Odyssey tells me they're working on an immediate fix to this credit card processing problem, and they have a more long-term plan for what they're calling a decentralized payment system that has something to do with this thing called Arweave, which I don't really know what that is. Some kind of crypto, I don't know what. Maybe it'll be good. You know, Trump is doing all kinds of things with crypto czar David Sachs. And didn't he create the US crypto? What is that weird sound? It's not a bird, is it? Something electronic. Or maybe it keeps away the birds. This bird's up there. What is this? That's insane. They're going to be just as surprised as I was. What the hell is going on? Nobody understands it. It makes no sense. That sound lures you around the corner and then there's nothing there. Weird. Well, this is the thing. This is like the High Line is an art installation, essentially, according to maniacs. Right? Pretty much everything in New York is something according to maniacs. And there's diddle. So the doing of the taxes, I don't think it's something that you could do with a free, I mean, I don't know, maybe you could. Maybe Gemini 2.5, Llama, all these things are coming out all the time. I mean, that's the deal. I was watching that Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones interview. I liked it. But no, you know, what I was thinking is Tucker Carlson, it's known, he's like very anti-technology, very anti-AI. I get it. But it's like, look, that's a genie that's not going back in the bottle. And rather than being Luddite-ish about it, I guess they're fixing up that restaurant, make it a new restaurant maybe. It's never really that good. It's okay, I mean, you just sit there and have wine and some like sandwich with nothing on it. So they don't want to have a full kitchen over there, right? They rats running around and everything. Just make sandwiches and give you wine and charge a lot of money, I think is the idea. But yeah, helicopter crash, sorry to see that. I wonder, I mean, we've got to find out, first of all, who was on it. Why did it flip over? I mean, it wasn't that bad, the weather. It was just like a little bit of rain. Pretty normal. We saw other helicopters flying, no problem. You can hear helicopters flying now. So I think the sound echoes in this little canyon of buildings here, and the helicopter port is sort of over there-ish. Now there's a lot happening over here to the High Line to beautify and expand it. It's closed. Oh wow, you can see they tore up the whole floor over there. So that's the site of one of the first interviews with Charles. The very first one was down at World Trade Center. And then we had another one over there. Yeah, so you can hear the helicopters over here a lot. I just don't get this. Pink Panther, what is it advertising? What does it want you to buy? Not this costume. I don't get that. It's weird. So this is a whole new section. Not bad. More benches. People can sit and relax. I guess there'll be something behind here that we don't know yet. What do we got there? Let's put a little putting green in there. Get mini golf.
I know, today.
Mini golf on the High Line. You can't really do a business because it would create a line and back the whole place up. And it's a park. I'm sure it's this the von Furstenberg thing, I think, is foundation, right? What's the other guy's name? The weirdo with the all-boy Thanksgiving? Barry Diller von Furstenberg Foundation, I think, has a lot to do with this. So, but they do have businesses over at the food court area there. This was pretty much the deal today. Let everybody know about AI. Right, I was talking about Tucker and his fears of AI. So that's a genie not going back in the bottle, toothpaste not going back in the tube. And rather than letting it, I mean, this is my approach at least, everybody should do what suits them. Rather than letting it evolve around you and change the world in ways that you don't understand, I prefer to dive into it, and I mean, certainly in this case, use it to my advantage. Save money on the taxes and not have to pay an accountant. It's kind of scary if you are an accountant or a lawyer, or look, that new update they just did like last week to ChatGPT that added all kinds of imaging features. Definitely could, what the hell, we got a car up here. It definitely could these new imaging features, it definitely could enable somebody to do thumbnails the way I've been doing for the past 8 years, even if you don't know how to use Photoshop at all. You could upload a movie poster and say, hey, make a parody of this with Donald Trump as Indiana Jones instead of Harrison Ford, and it'll do it. And sometimes, yeah, it's like, whoa, that might be better than, or certainly as good as what I could do. So I was thinking, I was like, wow, that was for me, that was a moment where you see it do something that you do. I mean, nobody pays me to do that, so I'm not like, oh my God. Oh wait, did I just miss my off-ramp? No, not yet. You know, it's easy to get lost up here. This is my urban jungle, my garden. I don't know, I ever tell everybody about, we did a production in South Korea for Samsung, you know, when they were making lots of 3D TVs. And I went to Jeju Island, and they had this fragrance garden. It was like, well, this was weird. They put us in a hotel. That was the craziest production. From one day to the next, I went from the skankiest, most disgusting hotel I've ever stayed in to one of the nicest on the same production. It was the weirdest thing. But anyway, at the nicest, the hotel had a spa. And there was a free day there, a day off, you know. And I went to the spa. They had this just outdoor garden that you'd walk around. You give your robe and the slippers, and you walk around in all these different kind of evergreen, exotic plants, and you'd rub the spine. You know, what are they? Not the leaves, but whatever those are on an evergreen tree, and the fragrances. It was so aromatherapeutic. It was good. I liked it. Jeju Island. Here, look at this. Good advice. Look good for good. Don't look good for evil. Or I guess maybe that means look good permanently. That's also not going to happen. You put a couple years on. A lot of people have been evaluating this photo of Bieber, and people are like, oh my God, what happened to Bieber? It's like, well, he's like 30-something and done a lot of drugs, I think. Time happened to be. You show a picture of him when he's like 22, and they're like, oh, it's like, yeah, you know, 16, 20 years of hard boozing. It changes the way. That was the other thing that I liked about this Alex Jones interview with Tucker Carlson, is that he was more serious. He's lost weight and made a point of saying that he stopped drinking. It's kind of like me, right? I mean, it wasn't like, I don't know what his personal situation was, but there's some people who stop drinking and it's like, oh, I had some, you know, catastrophic occurrence and a intervention or whatever. And some people just get to a point where they're like, you know what? This isn't working for me anymore. And I got the sense that he said that. He said things became so serious that he just stopped drinking and lost 65 pounds. I don't know, something. He's involved with Flynn and everything, which something's got to be wrong there. And I don't trust Tucker Carlson either, but I don't know. A lot of people dislike Alex Jones. I've had a number of personal interactions with him where he's been on the level with me. I like him. Hopefully, I don't know what the hell is going on with him, but Flynn is a very, very weird component. He was talking a lot about the Sandy Hook incident, you know, not the shooting and his talking about it so much, but the lawsuit and the billions of dollars that he's hung up for. And that's the thing. I mean, obviously there's control over him, and this is part of the lawfare. Either they get you with criminal or financial. There's art in there. That's a weird looking painting. Huh. Perhaps better than Hunter Biden. He's not that good. Remember when all these ambulances were parked over here for COVID? Just hanging out the whole time. Look, they're lining the street now still. And the other thing, I don't remember if this was Alex Jones talking about this, but somebody talking about, you know, I think Fauci or Hotez predicting more pandemics. I mean, are they really going to do that? I just don't think people are going to... It's like, wait a minute, no pandemics when Biden is around. Pandemic pandemonium when Trump. Pandemic palooza when Trump is there. I don't know, we'll have to see. But we're squarely in spring here. It's strange, it's warmer now than when I left the apartment, I guess because it's not raining. It just makes it kind of cold and clammy. So there you go. Maybe we'll learn more about this helicopter crash pretty soon. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. Don't forget, tomorrow, Ken Silva will be joining me Ken always has great updates. I mean, that guy is really working a lot of stories. So stay with us for that. I'll be back at 2. But subscribe to Odyssey on odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth. It's free. It's still going. If you're already a paying member on Odyssey, just hang tight. You still have access to all the sponsor exclusive content, even new sponsor exclusive content, and that will stay there even if you don't get charged again until we work it out. So hopefully sometime very soon. People can also sponsor on crowdsourcethetruth.substack.com and subscribestar.com and patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. Oh, and how could I forget? You can also subscribe on X at JG_CSTT, and you can follow on X. Yeah, anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great evening.